John Calipari, as we've talked many times over on this show, it feels like he's playing a different game than every other coach in the country. Every other coach goes into a season, they say, I want to win a national championship. I want to win a conference championship, then I want to make the NCAA tournament, and I want to win a national championship. And John Calipari, I genuinely believe that he goes into every season and says, I want to get my guys drafted. And I want to meet individually with each of my guys, and I want to ask them, what can I do to help you achieve? What are your goals individually? How can I help you achieve those goals? And that's ultimately what he cares about most, which is great. And I think during his run at Kentucky fans have loved that about him. They've loved the first round picks. They've loved the one and dones. They loved all that because they've won. And I guess that's the point I would make, is that winning has to be the first hierarchy of needs. That has to be met before we can then get to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. It's like winning is the bottom, recruiting is next, then we can get the first round picks.
Yep.
Then we can talk about like all the money and all the all-star teams your former players are making. And then at the very top of my pyramid is Drake.
Drake is at the top.
That's the pyramid. And Cal is too focused on the top of the pyramid. And for the longest time, the winning was still happening, so no one really cared. And now all of a sudden, the winning's not happening, and Cal is stuck in this position of like, yeah, but did you see what John Wall did the other night in his first game at Houston? And did you see it?
Yeah.
It's like, Cal, we don't want to hear that. We want to win.
The brand of Kentucky basketball, like you said, is above Coach Calipari's, spoon-fed version of it. He's like, you guys just don't get it. You don't even know what I'm doing here. And everyone's like, no, we know what you're doing, Coach, but it sucks, and we want you to change it, and we want you to update it. We want you to be better and find an identity outside of, I hope that these crop of kids are good.
I mean, there is a large contingent of Kentucky fans that even before this year, even when they were winning, I certainly interacted with a lot of fans that didn't like it. They're like, I love that we win. It's cool. It's all that. But, like, I miss the days of cheering for guys for 2 or 3, 4 years, whatever it was.
But Bam and Fox, I felt like in 2017, they gave that generation of one-and-done guys kind of that connective tissue. Anthony Davis did the same thing, where it was like they superseded the identity of being a one-and-done guy. They became Kentucky basketball. They showed how much it meant to them. I mean, Devin Booker, he walked into his first preseason game. He's wearing a Kentucky Letterman jacket. Like, those guys obviously have a tie to the school, those one-and-done guys. But it's like trying to still have an identity outside of that, you know what I mean? Because what is one and done? What happens when one and done is taken away? You know what I mean? What is the identity then? And I think that's the only thing that I would say about Kentucky basketball. It can't just be we are the NBA factory, the one and done factory, because that is fleeting. That is, yes, it has worked for a decade. That is cool and everything, but there seems to be a sea change. And maybe there isn't, but right now, Coach Cal and Coach K, they do not want to sign up with what they're putting up with.
I do think this could be the end of the one and dones. Not one and done players. They're going to go on until the NBA changes their rule. I'm talking the one and done teams. I'm talking to the Cal and K basically are the two. Maybe those guys stop doing it, and then Capel and Penny pick up the mantle and are like, we'll try it.
Or Konzo.
Maybe someone else will try it. But to me, this feels like this moment in time, we can all stop and look around and say, all right, this might be the end of trying to just like load up on recruiting class year after year and doing the cycle. Because not only are Duke and Kentucky awful this year, but there's also the transfer rule, right? Like aren't transfers, they're going to be eligible immediately. Exactly. I feel like that's the future. That's the pivot that Cal has to make, is like try to get these transfers to the Olivier Sarrs, the Reed Travises.
There may be a shift in the philosophy overall at the top, and I think that's good for college basketball. I think it's good for Coach K and Coach Calipari. I mean, the rat race never stops.